Hey guys, tonight we step back into a small, dimly lit barber's shop somewhere in medieval Europe. Imagine waking up in a cramped room filled with the mingled scents of sharp herbs, smoldering tallow candles, and a faint hint of iron. You trudge out from your rough linen bedroll, rubbing the sleep from your eyes, knowing your day will weave together haircuts, shaves, and the occasional bloodletting. A peculiar job that makes you part barber, part healer, and definitely part storyteller. You probably won't survive a day here without a steady hand and a calm heart. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, while you're at it, drop your location and local time in the comments. I love hearing where you're tuning in from, whether it's cozy winter mornings or warm summer evenings. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The dawn arrives slowly, the sunlight sneaking through narrow windows that are more grime than glass. You step into your shop, a modest wooden stall tucked between a baker's oven and a cobbler's bench. The walls here seem to hold onto centuries of whispered stories, a little darkened by soot and the patina of many years. A low fire crackles in the corner, heating water in an iron pot for the day's work. The smell of dried rosemary and sage hangs in the air, mingling with the faint metallic tang of your tools laid out on a rough wooden table. You light a candle to chase the last shadows, the flickering flame casting gentle shapes on cracked plaster. Your hands begin to warm, remembering the motions, sharpening blades, preparing cloths, and mixing salves. This morning ritual is as important as any, setting the tone for the delicate balance you hold between healing and harming, cutting and soothing. The medieval barber-surgeon is not just about cutting hair or trimming beards. You are the town's go-to for minor surgeries, tooth extractions, and bloodletting, a practice believed to balance the humors and restore health. Today, like every day, you will juggle many roles, wearing your apron stained with a lifetime of work, and greeting a steady stream of clients who bring not only their hair but their worries and secrets. The routine is slow, measured, and gently chaotic all at once. The murmur of the town wakes outside your door, the distant clatter of horseshoes, merchants setting up stalls, children darting through alleys. Yet inside, your space feels like a bubble, a quiet nook where time moves differently, punctuated by the scrape of your blade and the soft buzz of conversation. You prepare yourself for the morning's first visitor, a nervous farmer with a splintered thumb needing a quick fix, followed by a well-dressed merchant seeking a trim and a shave that won't leave him looking worse for wear. You know that the success of the day depends on your touch, firm but gentle, efficient but calming. One slip could cost a client a finger or worse. As you arrange your tools, you catch the faint scent of garlic and lavender, a mix from the herbal poultices drying nearby. You wonder which lost recipes will rise from your memory today, and which you might invent on the spot. The medieval world still holds many medical mysteries, and historians still argue whether some of your bloodletting and poultices actually did more good than harm. You smile to yourself, the corners of your mouth twitching at the thought that despite the roughness of your trade, there's something oddly soothing about these repeated motions. The clink of metal, the quiet exchanges, the slow rhythm of care. This is your morning. The gentle art of the medieval barber-surgeon begins here. You start by gathering your tools, each with its own story and scent. The razor, gleaming but chipped from years of sharpening on a whetstone, sits next to a small pot of beeswax for stropping. The steel scissors have a familiar weight, worn smooth from countless haircuts. There's the curved lancet used for bloodletting, its shape designed to slip just beneath the skin with minimal fuss. A cluster of glass vials contains dark liquids and herbal infusions, some fragrant, others slightly pungent, which you'll use throughout the day for salves and disinfectants. You handle these implements with the care of a craftsman, knowing each could either comfort or unsettle your clients. Among these tools is a small jar filled with dried leeches, kept moist in a cool clay vessel. Yes, leeches. The thought might make you shudder a little, but in medieval medicine, they're considered a delicate and natural way to rebalance the body's humors. You'll apply them with a steady hand, watching as they lazily latch on and begin their work, an oddly soothing sight if you get used to it. Historians still argue whether leeching truly helped or was just a slightly gross placebo. But here, it's just part of the trade. Your shop also houses a collection of herbs hanging from the rafters: sage, lavender, rosemary, and even some less common ones like St. John's wort, believed to chase away bad spirits or melancholy. The mingling scents fill the air, creating a calm backdrop to the business of the day. Mixing these into pastes and infusions, you carefully measure out doses, blending tradition with your own touch. There's a curious poetry in the way you dip dried flowers into hot water, releasing aromas that both comfort and distract. Alongside these, you carry the more personal items: a leather-bound notebook filled with sketches and notes on various ailments and remedies. Some scribbles remind you of experiments long forgotten. Others document surprising successes. You trace the faded ink of a drawing showing how to fashion a splint from willow wood, a handy trick you'll likely need later for a broken finger or two. You notice a peculiar little instrument, a pair of small forceps shaped like tiny pincers, rumored to have originated from Moorish doctors in Spain. You enjoy the idea that your tools reflect a patchwork of cultures, traded and adapted across borders in an age before Google or Amazon. Even the simplest pair of scissors carries centuries of evolution, each curve and hinge a story passed down through generations. As you organize your instruments, your fingers brush over a small amulet, a carved bone charm said to protect you from infection and bad luck. It's probably more superstition than science, but you keep it close, a reminder of the medieval blend of faith and medicine. After all, healing is as much about hope as it is about skill. Preparing your station, you dip a cloth in warm water and begin wiping down your surfaces. The faint crackle of the hearth mingles with the soft hum of the waking town outside. In this ritual, there's a rhythm that centers you, sharp edges dulled, herbs arranged just so, instruments gleaming under the flickering candlelight. You pause to breathe in the herbal medley, feeling the weight of history around you. These tools and remedies are your companions, your lifelines in a world where the line between life and death is thin and sometimes blurry. And yet, there's a strange comfort here in the repetition, the gentle clink of metal and soft rustle of parchment. You smile, imagining the curious eyes of your first client as they peek into your shop, perhaps nervous but hopeful. This collection of razors, vials, and dried leeches is about to become the backdrop for a day of whispered stories, careful hands, and unexpected kindness. You remember hearing that some barbers even kept a small bell to announce their presence in busy streets, a gentle chime to call those in need of a trim or a quick fix. You don't have one, but the familiar sounds of your tools and the quiet murmur of the town serve just as well. As you finish setting your table, you notice a small patch of dried blood on one old leather strap. It's a reminder that even with care, mistakes happen, and that's part of the life you lead. It's humbling, but also oddly grounding. You take a final glance around your workspace, feeling ready. The tools, scents, and rituals are all in place, waiting to be called into action. You begin your first medical task of the day, bloodletting. It's a procedure both feared and trusted, believed to balance the body's humors, blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile, though historians still argue whether this theory actually helped or simply caused more problems. You prepare the patient, a nervous man whose flushed cheeks suggest too much blood already. You gently explain what you're about to do, your voice calm to soothe his jitters. You locate the vein just beneath the skin, usually on the arm, where the lancet will make its delicate incision. Your hand steady, you make a small nick, barely enough to draw a thin stream of blood. The patient winces slightly, but you're quick to press a clean cloth, encouraging the blood to flow slowly. It's a careful balance. Too much and the patient could weaken. Too little and the remedy might feel incomplete. The blood collects in a shallow bowl, a vivid red against the dull wood of your table. You watch it drip steadily, the ritual strangely hypnotic. Nearby, you have leeches ready, small, wriggling creatures that will be placed on other parts of the body to draw out bad blood. Their gentle suction and slow pace contrast with the sharpness of your lancet, offering a softer, though still unsettling, alternative. You recall reading about a curious practice from medieval France where barbers would sometimes use cups heated over flames to create suction on the skin before making incisions. It's an extra step to draw blood more efficiently, but not something you often try yourself. These variations remind you that medical practices then were as much art as science, evolving through trial, error, and a good deal of hope. While bloodletting is common, you're also aware of the risks: excessive bleeding, infections, and fainting patients. You keep a bowl of vinegar and clean cloths nearby, in case the patient needs a quick recovery boost. The smells of vinegar and iron mingle, oddly grounding in this age-old ritual. Between patients, you pause to consider how bloodletting reflects the medieval understanding of health, a blend of observation, superstition, and empirical practice. Scholars today still debate its actual efficacy, but to your clients it offers reassurance, a sense that something is being done. The ritual has a rhythm to it, a slow dance between practitioner and patient. You notice that some patrons, once stiff with fear, relax as the blood flows. It's as if the act itself, regardless of outcome, serves as a psychological balm. Your hands move on to preparing bandages and soothing balms to cover the small wounds, mixing herbs known for their antiseptic qualities, like comfrey and yarrow, into a pasty ointment. The scent is earthy, slightly sweet, a gentle contrast to the metallic tang in the air. Bloodletting may sound gruesome to modern ears, but here, it's a routine part of care, wrapped in careful attention and centuries of tradition. You sometimes joke quietly to yourself that it's the original detox, long before smoothies and juice cleanses were a thing. As you finish with your patient, you encourage him to rest and avoid heavy labor for the rest of the day. The look of relief mixed with lingering anxiety on his face reminds you how much trust this small act requires. You clean your lancet carefully, mindful of the sharp edge, and set it aside for the next round. It's a tool of healing and caution, much like your role in this bustling medieval town. You reflect on the delicate balance of your work, wielding instruments that could harm if mishandled, yet offering the hope of healing in uncertain times. The next task calls for your steady hand and eye for detail, haircuts, and shaves. Your first customer arrives, a burly townsman whose thick beard and tangled hair have clearly seen better days. As you settle him into your wooden chair, you feel the familiar texture of coarse hair under your fingers, the slight warmth of his skin beneath your palm. The gentle scrape of your razor against leather straps echoes softly in the room as you sharpen your blade, preparing for the precise work ahead. Unlike the bloodletting, haircuts are a less perilous part of your trade, though of course a slip could still result in a nick or two. You balance sharp blades and gentle hands, mindful that this simple grooming ritual carries weight beyond mere appearance. A clean shave or tidy haircut can mark status, piety, or profession. Nobles might require the utmost care, with carefully styled locks that follow the latest fashions from distant courts, while peasants favor practicality, their cuts rougher but no less important. You trim and shape, careful to catch stray hairs before they fall on your client's neck or clothes. The scissors make a soft snip-snap sound, rhythmic and soothing. Occasionally, you pause to wipe your blade on a cloth scented with lavender and rosemary, both to clean and to keep the air fragrant. There's a quiet intimacy in this moment, a shared trust as you work close to the skin, the buzz of the town muted behind the walls of your shop. Your client shifts slightly, revealing a curious request. A small patch of hair left uncut at the crown, a sign of religious devotion known as a tonsure. Monks often seek you out to maintain this distinctive style, a symbol of humility and faith. Handling these requests requires a respectful touch, balancing tradition with your own skill. You recall that medieval barbers were often among the few permitted to shave beards, and the trends changed with the times. For instance, during the reign of Henry VIII, beards came back into fashion after years of clean-shaven faces. You imagine how political shifts and royal whims might influence your daily routine. One day trimming mustaches and the next shaping elaborate facial hair. As you work, you notice a child peeking nervously through the door, a brave little one hoping for a first trim. You offer a gentle smile, inviting her in and making sure the experience is calm and even a little fun. Childhood haircuts might not be steeped in status, but they hold their own significance, marking the passage from one phase of life to another. You finish the shave with a careful application of a cooling balm made from crushed mint leaves and beeswax. The scent refreshes both you and your client, A small luxury in a day filled with dirt and hard work. Your client sighs softly, the tension of the morning easing away. While haircuts seem straightforward, there are also moments of quiet connection. You catch snippets of conversation, news from the market, rumors of distant wars, or the simple woes of daily life. Your shop becomes a small hub of the community, a place where stories are exchanged as naturally as combs and razors. Remember that razor with the chipped edge you sharpened earlier? It served many a customer well, but has also been the cause of more than one nervous twitch. You joke softly to yourself that a barber without a nick or two is a barber not doing his job properly. But you take care to keep your blades as safe as possible. Historians still debate how widespread and fashionable certain haircuts really were across classes. But in your shop, the variety is clear, from coarse peasant locks to the finely curled hair of wealthier clients. You finish tidying the chair and sweep up the stray hairs, already preparing mentally for the next appointment. There's a satisfying rhythm to the routine: snip, shave, balm, repeat, that grounds your day even as the world outside moves unpredictably. As the day moves on, your clientele grows more varied and intriguing. Today, you find yourself welcoming some of the town's more unusual visitors. People whose requests remind you that your role is as much about adapting as it is about skill. A monk arrives, his tonsure freshly grown but ragged, asking for a careful touch. His quiet demeanor contrasts with the raucous laughter of a group of knights entering shortly after, each with their own demands and peculiar habits. One knight asks you to clean his ears, an odd request, perhaps, but a common one among the armored. With their helmets pressed tight and dirt accumulated from countless campaigns, ear cleaning becomes a necessary, if delicate, part of your service. You lean in carefully, using small, slender tools designed for the task. The sensation is strange to you but clearly appreciated, as the knight exhales a sigh of relief. Nearby, a traveling merchant asks for a shave, but insists on a particular scent, something exotic, like amber or sandalwood. You rummage through your potions, concocting a fragrant balm by mixing crushed herbs with fragrant oils. This small act of customization delights him, and he pays with a smile, promising to spread word of your skill in distant markets. Then there's the farmer, humble but proud, who requests a quick trim before heading back to the fields. His calloused hands and sunburned face tell stories of hard labor, and you work efficiently, respecting his need to get back to work. You find yourself amused by the range of people who sit in your chair, each bringing their own stories and expectations. Monks, knights, merchants, peasants. They all pass through your door, seeking grooming and relief from the day's burdens. Historians still debate whether barbers were truly trusted medical practitioners or more like skilled craftsmen dabbling in surgery. But here in your shop, the lines blur beautifully. You are a healer, a confidant, and sometimes even a magician with your array of herbs and instruments. One particularly memorable client is a young woman who asks for an ear candle treatment, a curious ritual meant to cleanse the ears with a slow-burning hollow candle. The practice is odd, but you've learned it brings a soothing warmth and a moment of relaxation amid the bustle. You share a light joke with her about how ear cleaning was the medieval equivalent of today's spa treatments. She laughs softly, easing the tension in the room. These small moments of humor are your refuge. As the afternoon sun shifts, your shop fills with the mingled scents of wax, herbs, and faint sweat. The sounds of town life, a distant bell, the clatter of carts, children playing, filter in through open windows. You relish these quiet interludes between busy spells, the gentle ebb and flow of a day in your unusual profession. You notice how the clientele's needs shift with the seasons. Winter brings more coughs and colds, and with them, requests for soothing balms and warm compresses. Summer invites more shaves and trims, as people seek relief from the heat under layers of heavy clothing. You pause to mix a batch of cooling salve from crushed mint and lavender, thinking how these simple plants might offer comfort in a world otherwise harsh and unpredictable. Your shop is a microcosm of medieval life, a crossroads of health, hygiene, and human connection. And as you move between customers, you sense the quiet pride in your craft, knowing that though the world changes, these small acts of care endure. The scents of your herbal remedies surround you as you prepare your next batch of salves and potions. Some are familiar and comforting. Lavender to calm nerves, rosemary to clear the mind. But others carry curious, almost pungent aromas that make you wrinkle your nose. You carefully crush dried roots and leaves, mixing them into ointments that promise relief from aches, wounds, and sleepless nights. These concoctions are as much tradition as science, whispered down through generations. Their true efficacy lost in time yet still trusted by many. You recall tales of lost recipes from distant lands, exotic mixtures that once included ingredients like crushed pearls or powdered ambergris, prized for their supposed healing powers. Though you don't possess such luxury, your humble herbs carry their own quiet magic. The earthy scent of comfrey reminds you of its reputation as knit bone, believed to help mend fractures. Sage, with its sharp, clean aroma, is said to ward off evil spirits as well as bad smells. You mix a small batch of salve for a client suffering from an irritated scalp, stirring the blend until it reaches the perfect consistency. The smell is strong but strangely soothing, and you can't help but smile at the thought of how different these smells must be from the sterile, minty antiseptics used in future centuries. Some of your clients are fascinated by these mixtures, watching you as if you were a wizard casting spells. You share gentle stories about each herb's origin, the way monks cultivated them in monastery gardens, or how traders brought rare spices along the Silk Road. It's a small education alongside your practical work, adding layers of meaning to the routine. Historians still argue whether many of these remedies actually worked or if their effects were mostly psychological comfort. But here, in the quiet swirl of scents and textures, they feel real enough to heal. Occasionally, you stumble on a particularly odd-smelling batch, a pungent paste that a neighboring apothecary swears by for skin ailments. You wince slightly but package it carefully, knowing that sometimes, healing requires enduring a few unpleasant odors. You enjoy the tactile pleasure of this part of your day, the soft rustle of dried leaves, the gentle grind of mortar and pestle, the slow drip of tinctures into tiny bottles. It's a soothing contrast to the sharper sensations of blades and blood. Sometimes, you experiment with your own blends, adjusting proportions or adding new ingredients based on what you learned from travelers and scribes. These small innovations keep your work fresh, even as you honor tradition. Your shop smells like a patchwork garden, each scent carrying a story. You think back to the last client who complimented your lavender balm. Mentioning it reminded her of her childhood home. Such moments are small but meaningful, grounding you in the knowledge that your work touches lives in subtle, comforting ways. As you finish, you tidy the herb bundles hanging from the ceiling, the dried flowers dancing lightly in the soft draft from the open window. Outside, the sun begins to dip, casting long shadows on the cobblestone streets, while inside, the gentle scent of healing lingers, wrapping the room in quiet calm. You adjust your posture and prepare for a task that always requires the utmost care: acting as the town's dentist. It's a role not often associated with barbers today, but in your time, you are among the few trusted to pull teeth and treat mouth ailments. You set out your small, specialized tools: a pair of pincers with curved handles designed to grip stubborn molars, a set of wooden wedges for prying, and a small cup filled with clove oil, prized for its numbing properties. Your patient, a middle-aged woman, sits anxiously, gripping the edges of the chair. You offer a reassuring smile, explaining the procedure in gentle tones. You know that toothaches in this era can be debilitating, sometimes leading to fevers or worse, so relief is paramount. As you work, you apply clove oil around the swollen gum, its sharp, spicy scent filling the room and dulling the sharp pain just enough for the extraction. The process is quick but careful. One wrong move could fracture the jaw or cause severe bleeding. You steady your hands and remind yourself that this work, though sometimes uncomfortable, can be a lifeline. You recall reading of a peculiar practice where barbers would tie a thread around the tooth to be pulled, then gently rock it loose with a twisting motion. While you prefer the pincers, you respect the ingenuity of these earlier techniques, born out of necessity and trial. After the extraction, you prepare a paste made from crushed myrrh and honey to soothe the raw socket and prevent infection. The honey's natural antiseptic properties are well known, though historians still debate how effective these early dental remedies truly were compared to later developments. Your patient thanks you quietly, wincing slightly but relieved. You remind her to avoid hard foods and rinse her mouth with warm herbal teas over the next few days. The intimacy of this care, working so close to the mouth, sharing breath and trust, reminds you how much your role extends beyond mere barbering. Dental hygiene in this time is rudimentary. Toothbrushes are often rough bundles of twigs, and toothpaste varies from chalky powders to mixtures of ashes and herbs. Your shop is one of the few places offering even basic relief from dental pain. You think about how your trade straddles the line between craft and medicine. Pulling teeth may seem barbaric to some, but in a world without anesthetics or antibiotics, your skills offer precious comfort. You chuckle softly, remembering a tale of a wandering barber who once tried to pull a tooth using a horse's bridle, an improvised but ill-advised method. It serves as a reminder that not all solutions are created equal. The clatter of your tools settling signals the end of this delicate procedure. You wipe your hands and prepare for the next client, grateful for the trust they place in you. Between the sharp scent of clove and the quiet gratitude in your patient's eyes, you find a quiet satisfaction. In this blend of barber and healer, you are a keeper of many small, vital skills. You move on to some of the stranger medical practices in your daily routine, applying leeches and poultices. The leeches are kept damp and cool in a small clay jar, wriggling faintly as you reach in with gentle fingers. They're an unsettling sight to most, but you've grown accustomed to their slow, rhythmic suction. Placing one carefully on a patient's arm, you watch as it attaches and begins to draw blood, the sensation both alien and oddly calming to the person receiving treatment. Leeches are believed to help balance humors and reduce swelling, though historians still debate just how effective they really were. Some say the benefits came more from the ritual itself than any medical merit. Regardless, leeches are a staple in your toolbox, a symbol of the medieval blend of observation and tradition. Alongside leeches, poultices are your go-to for soothing wounds and inflammation. You mix crushed herbs like comfrey, chamomile, and mustard seed into warm pastes, spreading them on clean cloth before applying to bruises or sores. The smell is often sharp, sometimes overwhelming, but the texture is cool and comforting. You've seen clients grimace at the scent, but relax as the poultice works its magic, reducing pain or drawing out impurities. Some poultices are left on overnight, wrapped securely to keep them in place. It's a slow, gentle process, demanding patience from both healer and patient. You sometimes wonder if the trust people place in these treatments comes more from hope than science. But in your hands, these rituals provide comfort. And in this, there is real power. You recall a curious case where a poultice made from crushed snail shells was used to treat a stubborn skin infection. While it sounds bizarre, the client swore by its effectiveness, a reminder that sometimes the strangest remedies hold surprising value. Your day is punctuated by the soft squelch of leeches feeding and the faint rustle of cloth wrapping poultices in place. These sounds become a kind of lullaby, underscoring the rhythm of healing that defines your role. You think about the balance you must maintain, between modern skepticism and ancient wisdom, between gentle care and necessary discomfort. Your clients come with varying beliefs, some wary, others eager to try any remedy that promises relief. In this mix, you find your place as a guide through the maze of medieval medicine, offering not just treatments but reassurance. The debate among scholars about the efficacy of your methods feels distant here. What matters is the calm you bring to the anxious and the sick. You clean your hands in a basin of warm water, the scent of herbs lingering on your skin. As you prepare for the next task, you remind yourself that healing is as much about presence and intention as it is about technique. Your shop sits on a bustling medieval street, alive with the sounds and scents of the town's daily hustle. The cobblestones outside are uneven, worn smooth by countless footsteps, carts, and the occasional clatter of a dropped tool. You can hear the distant clanging of the blacksmith's hammer mingling with the chatter of merchants hawking their wares, and the occasional braying of a donkey laden with sacks. The air is a complex blend, fresh bread from the baker's oven, pungent waste from the nearby latrine, and the sharp tang of smoke from chimneys. As you work, You become both a part of this vibrant scene and its quiet observer. Your shop door remains open, welcoming those who seek your services but also letting in snippets of town life. A loud choral across the street, the laughter of children darting between stalls, the occasional bell tolling from the church tower. It's a steady stream of life that you witness from your little window to the world. You notice the regulars, the tailor stopping by for a quick shave between fittings, the elderly widow who comes weekly for a herbal scalp massage, the young apprentice blacksmith eager for a haircut before his master's inspection. Each brings their own rhythm, their own story, making your shop a small crossroads in the town's tapestry. The smells of the street often drift inside. Spices from the market stalls, the damp earth after a recent rain, and sometimes the unmistakable aroma of manure from the animals tethered nearby. You've grown used to these contrasts, and they become part of your day's sensory backdrop. Amid this daily bustle, your shop offers a calm reprieve. The clinking of your tools and the soft murmur of conversation create a gentle soundtrack that contrasts with the lively chaos outside. Here, clients find a moment of pause, a quiet corner to unwind and be cared for. You often overhear gossip and news, tales of distant conflicts, new trade routes opening, or the latest royal decree. Your role as barber-surgeon places you in the perfect spot to gather and share these stories, making your shop not just a place of care, but a hub of community. Historians still debate how much barbers influenced local politics and culture, but you suspect it's more than we realize. After all, who better to hear the town's secrets than the person closest to its pulse? The afternoon sun casts long shadows through your windows, and the scent of roasting meat from a nearby tavern mingles with your herbal infusions. Outside, the street begins to quiet as merchants pack up their stalls. But inside your shop, the work continues with the same gentle rhythm. You take a moment to appreciate the unique blend of solitude and connection your place offers, an island of calm amid the medieval town's lively currents. In the lull between busy appointments, your shop becomes a stage for stories and quiet exchanges. As you run your razor along a client's jawline or prepare a soothing balm, you find yourself drawn into whispered tales shared softly over the hum of your work. These moments of connection are the lifeblood of your day, a gentle weaving of voices and experiences that warm the quiet corners of your space. Clients speak in hushed tones, sharing news from faraway villages, rumors of strange happenings, or simple reflections on their daily struggles. You listen attentively, sometimes adding your own dry humor to lighten the mood. Your voice lowers to a soothing cadence, the rhythm of your storytelling blending with the soft scrape of blades and the rustle of cloth. You recall a particularly memorable story from an elderly woman who spoke of a mysterious traveler passing through the town, whose songs could charm even the most hardened soldiers to tears. Her eyes sparkled as she described how the music seemed to pause time itself, if only for a moment. You chuckle quietly, imagining your own work becoming a sort of healing music, each shave and snip a note in a larger melody. Occasionally, you share light-hearted anecdotes, like the time a nobleman insisted on a haircut while wearing his full armor, forcing you to work around clanking metal and a rather stubborn helmet. Your clients appreciate these moments, their laughter a soft counterpoint to the day's weight. You notice how the shop's atmosphere shifts with each story told, moving from tension to relief, curiosity to comfort. It's a dance of human connection, fragile and precious. Historians still debate how much oral tradition shaped medieval communities. But here, in your little shop, stories keep the world turning gently, linking past and present. You think about how these exchanges soften your work's edge, transforming routine grooming into shared experience. The gentle humor you sprinkle throughout helps ease nerves and build trust, like a subtle balm for the spirit. Outside, the day fades, and the warm glow of candlelight inside your shop invites even more intimate conversations. You savor these moments, knowing that in this slow-paced world, connection often arrives softly, between shaves and whispered tales. Your day unfolds within the framework of the Barber-Surgeons Guild, a mysterious and often misunderstood institution that governs your work with strict rules and rituals. As a member, you've sworn oaths to uphold certain standards, balancing the art of medicine with the craft of barbering. The guild enforces apprenticeship periods, testing your skills and knowledge before granting you full status. A process both rigorous and necessary in a time when untrained hands could mean disaster. You recall the peculiar initiation ceremony from your own youth, where you had to demonstrate everything from precise bloodletting techniques to the proper way to fold bandages. The elder masters watched closely, their stern faces betraying little, but their eyes sharp enough to catch the slightest tremble in your hands. Passing this rite marked you as both craftsman and healer, a rare and respected blend. Guild rules dictate not only your skills but also your behavior, how you dress, how you treat clients, and even which tools you may use. Some of these regulations seem oddly specific, like a prohibition on wearing certain colors or the mandate to keep your shop's front clean and inviting. Yet you recognize that these rules help maintain trust and order in a profession straddling the line between medicine and trade. There are whispers within the guild of rivalries and politics, old grudges carried like scars beneath the surface. You've learned to navigate these carefully, focusing instead on honing your craft and building your reputation in town. Despite its strictness, the guild offers camaraderie and a sense of belonging in a sometimes isolating profession. Historians still argue whether these guilds advanced medical knowledge or simply preserved the status quo. But from your perspective, they provide essential structure in a world where skill and reputation mean everything. Apprenticeship remains a key part of the guild system, and you remember your own days as a novice. Long hours observing, practicing, and occasionally fumbling under watchful eyes. Your master taught you not just techniques but the importance of patience, empathy, and the quiet confidence that comes from experience. Now, as a master yourself, you pass these lessons on to the next generation, watching their hands grow steadier and their minds sharper. It's a slow, deliberate process, but one that ensures the survival of your unique craft. The guild meetings, held monthly in a shadowed hall, bring barbers and surgeons from nearby towns together. These gatherings blend instruction, debate, and socializing, a rare chance to exchange news and learn from others' experiences. You smile, thinking about the odd mix of solemnity and humor that fills these meetings, where serious discussions about anatomy might be punctuated by a well-timed joke about a botched shave or a leech that got loose. Your place in the guild feels like a badge of honor, a testament to the hard-won balance of healer, craftsman, and storyteller that defines your life. As dusk settles outside, you begin your nighttime preparations, a calming ritual that signals the close of the day's work. You dim the hearth's flames to a gentle glow and start cleaning your tools with meticulous care. Each razor is wiped clean and sharpened, the steel gleaming faintly in the candlelight. The lancets and pincers are washed and oiled, ready for tomorrow's tasks. This routine is soothing, the repetitive motions grounding you after the day's steady pace. You fold cloths neatly, arrange your herbs and potions back onto shelves, and empty the water basin, careful to dispose of any waste far from the shop. The lingering scents of lavender and rosemary mingle with the faint metallic notes of your instruments, creating an oddly comforting aroma. You light a small beeswax candle, its soft flicker casting dancing shadows on the walls, a quiet celebration of another day's work done. Sometimes, as you work, you catch yourself reflecting on the small triumphs and challenges. Whether it was the patient who braved a painful tooth extraction or the nobleman who finally relaxed during a shave. These moments weave together into the fabric of your life, reminding you of the trust and connection your trade fosters. You store away your leeches carefully, ensuring they remain moist and ready for the next day. Their strange presence feels less unsettling at this hour, almost companionable in their slow, rhythmic existence. You chuckle softly to yourself, thinking about the odd friendships you've formed with both people and creatures alike. The day's chatter fades, replaced by the distant hoot of an owl and the soft rustle of night winds slipping through the narrow streets. You close the shop's wooden shutters, the final barrier between the bustling town and your sanctuary. Outside, lanterns flicker in the twilight, casting a golden glow on the worn cobblestones. Before settling down, you take a moment to jot notes in your leather-bound book, observations, reminders, or curious cases that might warrant further attention. This habit keeps your skills sharp and your mind engaged, a quiet commitment to continuous learning in an ever-changing world. You find comfort in these closing rituals, the way they slow time and ease your mind. The transition from day to night mirrors the gentle ebbing of your energy, preparing you to rest and recharge. You think about how this balance of work and quiet reflection defines your life as a barber-surgeon, the blend of hands-on care and thoughtful pause. Outside, the town sounds soften to a murmur, and inside, the flickering candle casts a warm, protective glow over your humble space. With tools cleaned, herbs tucked away, and the fire reduced to glowing embers, you finally feel ready to rest. The risks of your trade hover quietly, like shadows at the edges of your day. Every cut you make carries the chance of infection. Every bloodletting might bleed too much. You've seen wounds fester and clients weaken, despite your best efforts. The medieval world offers few safety nets. No antibiotics, no sterile gloves. So caution is your constant companion. You remember the time a young apprentice nicked a client's neck during a hurried shave. The panic that followed was palpable. The fear of unseen infection even more so. Luckily, the wound healed, but the incident lingered in your mind as a sobering reminder of the stakes involved. Infections, called the fever or the swelling in common speech, are often your greatest enemy. You apply salves and recommend rest, but sometimes that's all you can do. You've lost clients to these invisible threats, and each loss feels like a quiet failure, a reminder of medicine's limits. You also face the occasional angry client, frustrated by pain or slow healing, who might vent their ire with harsh words or threats. You keep a calm demeanor, knowing that patience and steady hands often defuse tensions better than force. Your reputation as a careful and gentle practitioner helps, but you never take these moments lightly. Sharpening your blades is both a necessity and a risk. A dull razor invites accidents, but a blade too keen demands respect. You've learned over the years to sense the right balance, and the ritual of sharpening is almost meditative, a chance to focus your mind. Historians still debate how barbers managed infection and hygiene, but you rely on centuries of practical knowledge. Boiling water, vinegar washes, and herbal disinfectants. These methods offer some protection, though far from perfect. You keep your shop clean as possible, sweeping hair and blood away promptly, and airing the space to ward off unpleasant odors. You wear a simple linen apron, often stained but a small barrier against the mess. Despite the risks, you take pride in the trust your clients place in you. They come willingly, seeking relief, comfort, or just a moment of care. That trust is both an honor and a heavy responsibility. You reflect quietly on the fine line you walk each day, between healing and harm, calm and crisis. It's a delicate dance, demanding skill, empathy, and a steady heart. And so, as you close your toolkit for the night, you hold that balance in your mind, ready to face whatever tomorrow brings. In the quiet moments after the last client has left and the door is firmly shut, you find time for reflection. The day's work settles in your muscles and mind, a gentle tiredness that feels both earned and necessary. You sit alone in your shop, the flickering candlelight casting soft shadows across the walls, and allow your thoughts to drift. You think about the strange blend of roles you embody: a craftsman, a healer, a confidant. It's a unique identity, one shaped by necessity and tradition. You realize that this balance defines not only your work but your very sense of self. The sharp edge of your razor and the soothing touch of your herbal balms are two sides of the same coin, equally essential. Memories surface of particular moments: a patient's grateful smile after a painful tooth extraction, the quiet calm that settles over the shop during a long shave, the laughter shared over a simple story. These instances, small and unassuming, form the heart of your experience. You also ponder the ongoing debates among scholars about the true effectiveness of your methods. Bloodletting, leeches, herbal remedies, how much real healing did they bring? You smile gently, thinking that perhaps the answer lies somewhere between science and hope. After all, healing is as much about the human connection as it is about medicine. Your shop feels like a sanctuary, a place where time slows and the outside world's chaos softens. It's here that you find balance between activity and stillness, noise and silence. You run your fingers over the familiar tools one last time, feeling the smooth wood and cold metal, the textures grounding you in this moment. The amulet hanging by the window catches the candlelight, a small talisman of protection and tradition. Outside, the night deepens, stars beginning to twinkle faintly in the clear sky. You breathe deeply, letting the calm wash over you. This quiet reflection reminds you why you do what you do. Not just for the physical relief you provide, but for the gentle comfort and connection that come with your craft. You feel ready to rest, carrying the day's stories and lessons softly into the night. As sleep beckons, your thoughts turn to the legacy of the medieval barber-surgeon, the quiet impact of a profession that shaped centuries of care. Though often overlooked or misunderstood, your daily grind laid the groundwork for the modern blend of medicine and personal care. You imagine the lineage of hands that came before you, each passing down knowledge, tools, and traditions, evolving slowly over time. Your work echoes in the present. The careful precision of a surgeon, the artistry of a stylist, the empathy of a healer. These roles, once combined in your humble shop, have since separated and specialized, but the roots remain. You feel a connection to countless practitioners, across time and space, who navigated the same delicate balance between harm and healing. You reflect on the changes yet constants, the evolving tools, the shifting understanding of the body, the enduring human need for comfort and care. Despite advances, the essence of your trade persists in every careful shave, every reassuring touch. The evening air cools, and you imagine the town settling into quiet slumber. Your shop, once a hub of activity, now rests softly under the moon's gentle gaze. The faint scent of herbs lingers, mingling with the peaceful night. You feel gratitude for the strange and rewarding path you've walked, the sharp edges and soft moments, the whispered stories and shared silences. It's a life woven with complexity and care. As your eyes close, you carry with you the gentle hum of the day's rhythm, the scrape of blades, the scent of rosemary, the soft murmur of voices. These are your lullabies, your enduring legacy. Rest now, knowing that in the quiet work of healing and tending, you have shaped not just bodies but histories. Slowly, the day's colors fade, and the world softens around you. The sharp edges blur into gentle curves, and the bustling noises dim into a distant, soothing hum. You breathe deeply, feeling the tension melt away with each exhale. Imagine the scent of lavender and sage drifting softly through your room, wrapping you in calm. Your mind quiets as you settle into stillness, thoughts drifting like leaves on a slow river. There is no hurry here, only the gentle passage of time, a tender unfolding toward rest. Let the warmth of the hearth's fading glow soothe your senses, the soft flicker of candlelight a comforting companion. Remember the steady hands, the quiet care, and the stories shared in whispered tones. These memories linger like a soft song, guiding you toward peaceful sleep. You are safe, you are calm, and you are ready to drift away. Good night and sweet dreams.